you go. It's a good deterrent. Well, you know, actually, you know, I don't know how they would treat someone from out of the country. Maybe it's a freebie on the first one. It's a freebie on the first one. Then if you're a repeat offender, then you know, they're going to start charging you. Just don't cross any water. Oh yeah, no, it's still happening. All right, guys. Yeet. All right, you see that feature right there with those spires on it? That is simply called, and you're not going to like this name very much, I don't like it very much, the coxcomb. The coxcomb, I know. The settlers, they must have been sitting around the campfire, you know, drinking hooch. Hey, Jed, look at that. I think it looks just like a rooster's comb. I know. Let's call it the coxcomb. Well, Native American translation on this feature, here's something I wish they had chosen. It translates out as the elders. The elders. There you go. That has some meaning.
Yeah.
It's got a little respect to it. I like that one. I wish they named it the elders. That feels appropriate.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. All right. Beautiful, guys. So technically, you're in what you call a junipine forest. Yeah. Holy moly. There we go. Enough talking for a minute. Holy moly. Here we go. So this is a junipine forest, which really stands for juniper in some form of a pine tree. And so the upper Sonoran Desert here is called the junipine, and all the round evergreens right here on the ridge, right here on the right side, these rounder ones are juniper trees. Got a few pines right in here, these little scraggly ones.
Yeah.
Pinyon pine. Anybody familiar with piñones? In other words, pine nuts out of the bulk section. Pine nuts, right? Or if you ate some pesto, you had some pine nuts in pesto. Well, that's your species. This forest contains food. That's pine nuts out of that tree right there. Major Native American food staple, even today. Most of the tribes are going to disappear into the woods for the food. One thing is for sure, if you were here 600 or 700 years ago, just before the water starts to dry up, you would have seen lots and lots of human beings out here.
What's that noise?
Now's the time when you wish you didn't have image stabilization, right? I guarantee a 12-pack for everybody at the end of the ride. I know it sounds kind of cliche to say something like that, to say, you know, like, you know, this might be good for your body, or, you know, Jeep therapy or something like that, you know, when you make the joke and everybody's for the first time jamming this hard. But you know what? It really is kind of true. This may be good for your body, to say that a Jeep ride could be somewhat beneficial. And here's what I've seen over time. I used to have some back trouble. In fact, just before I got hired, I had about 2 years of very low grade, but totally constant back pain right there at the base of the spine. And, you know, I am 53, so you have to start thinking like this as you get older. You know, it's like, well, how am I going to take care of that little ache and pain now, you know? So my friend calls me and says, you got to come do this, be a Jeep Tour driver. And I was thinking about my situation, you know, I got this little pain, what do I do? But I went ahead, I just said, I'll just train, we'll see how it goes. Literally in 5 days of training, just going out on rides and bouncing like this, it literally disappeared in about 5 days. After 2 years of pain, in 5 days of curing it, man, it was done and it never came back.
Wow.
So I kind of think that this is good for you in short doses, right?
Yeah.
All right, guys, here's the gulch.
Whoa.
Take a sip of water. Yes, let's get ready. We're going to send ourselves into this. And you too in the rear. But only at the top, not somewhere in the middle.
Tighten your belt, dude. Just like that boat ride in Mexico. No, that was. There was no seatbelts on there. You couldn't stay to see. Dude, if you go sit and fucking get pulled up like that.
Wait a minute, say that again? You fell off a what? Oh, really? What fun.
Every time you hit a wave, the rope would pull and like it bounces in front.
Lots of cicadas here.
Wow, yeah.
The albino guy would want to get faster. Well, they had all that sunscreen.
Man, they were super white.
All right, not too shabby. Not too bad getting out of the gulch, was it?
Yeah, that was nice.
Right on. Yeehaws, right? So now I want to tell you a quick story about that hill, okay? And the reason I wait to get to the top of the hill to tell you this is that I have to admit my own limitations as a guide, and more technically as a driver. And this was about 2 years ago. And not working for Pink Jeep, working for a smaller Jeep Tour outfitter here in town. Okay, so here's what happens, guys. And it is the only time that I literally was scared of what was going on anytime on a ride.
Wow.
Okay, and so we're coming up. Okay, first of all, let me tell you, it was hot. It was like July, about the same time of year. And we came out of Uptown, and I had a larger Jeep. I could fit a full 8 in the back and another in the front. So it was almost the same size as this one. I could hold 9. I had every seat filled. So 10 people aboard the Jeep, including myself. Very heavy, larger Jeep, big crew. And so we're coming out for a Diamondback trail. And on the way, you know, as we're coming towards our trailhead, I'm talking story. I'm, you know, talking to people, trying to get them to talk about themselves and see what's going on in life and establish some connection. So I noticed something about this tour. It was a little bit quiet. you know, it's hot, and I understood maybe they were silent because it was too hot, and we're coming out, right? And I start talking, and I see this one guy in the back, and I'm like, hey man, what do you do for work? What do you do for work? And he